Has your imagination become more vivid since you have lost
Yes, I
your
think so.
sight?
Yes. My imagination sometimes is the only thing I have left. And so I have to get around on memory and imagination. And so sometimes it's, you know, you give yourself a bump, but you forget all about that and get on with it.
Mm.
And but I do spend, especially when I'm on my own, some considerable time going over interesting events that happened to me as a child, as a young man, and as from when our married life started. Um, yeah, we were both soundly converted Christians when we met. In fact, we met at the church, and and so life goes on slowly.
Thanks. Ron, one final question, and that is I was asking about what um, devices have perhaps made life a bit easier. And I think you said you were starting to use reading aids, but you weren't using audio books. And someone had suggested to you that you might need use a white stick. And for you, you said something about using a white stick. I found interesting. I don't know if you can retell that.
Right, well, um, friends advised me, why don't you get a walking stick? It'll help. Well, I did, and I've got used to using it, and it is a help, and I take it with me when I go a walk. And so I've now been issued with the white cane to distinguish my condition to my fellow citizens. Uh, but as of yet, I haven't used it because that is a big psychological barrier to go through. But within the next few weeks, I do hope to start using it. And why not? Because, people don't know your condition, and then they can't give you a bit of extra room or consideration. So we have to come around to using it.
Mm. I
Yeah.
mean, one thing I do see is, although you are severely blind, when I look at your eyes, I don't immediately realise that.
No.
And so, in some people, when they go blind, it's obvious.
Yes.
Yes.
But your kind of blindness, a little
No.
bit like my deafness, is not immediately
No.
Right.
obvious.
Well,
So unless I do communicate something, it's probably unreasonable for me to expect
Yeah.
people to adapt and help me when I
consider.
need it. Yeah. So you said something about using a cane in some ways meant communicating that you needed others to support you at times, or you need a bit more space
I
around you.
think that's what it's for, isn't it?
Space.
It's not this. It's only this long, and it's something that he's supposed to carry with him in his hand. So when people see it, they know what it's for. So
So
it's not a walking
No,
stick.
sure.
Yeah, it's a short stick.
It's just a symbol of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just a symbol.
Yeah.
So if they saw you heading for a hazard,
Yeah.
they could possibly
Help.
guide you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
And
I
if
mean, people in the community, or business colleagues, or professional people that know my condition, particularly when I notice the most particular help coming from the banks. When I visit the banks to do my business, just as I've always done, and I don't want to stop. No, I want to carry on and do that, and I intend to. But because the girls in the two banks that I use know my condition, the minute they see me come in, and one of them will come to me, oh, good morning, and who do you want to see this morning? And there we are. And then when I've done my bit of business, come on, Ron, take you to the door, and it is very, very reassuring when somebody does that.
Sure.
Very reassuring, and you feel indebted to them for their interest as well. Yes.
And I guess they've been able to offer that support because they've known you over a long period of time.
Yeah.
But I guess when we're out in the public, there's a need to communicate more explicitly,
Yes.
by whatever means,
That's right.
that we might need support or space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess things like either hearing aids or a white stick do
Yeah.
that, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.